You got to stand up for your rights. Know your rights.
And welcome back to the Now Morning Show. It's 19 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock, and it's time to shine a spotlight on intellectual property rights that are required for U.S. channels on local cable and why you should always choose TTT.
The Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago recently issued a public advisory to ensure that Trinidad and Tobago fully complies with international intellectual property requirements for certain U.S. free-to-air stations. Now, this morning, let me welcome Mr. Karel Douglas, the Executive Officer of Legal and Enforcement at TAT, to share some more with us about why we should basically love local a little bit more. Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, of course. Good morning, Rocco. Good morning to everybody, the TTT viewers and the world.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, thank you very much. It's
Thank
great
you
to
so
be
much
here.
for joining us this morning.
Yeah.
Now, I have to ask, why now? Why all of a sudden we put in this enforcement on intellectual property?
Yeah, well, actually, this is a fight that's been going on for 10 years. And basically, it's time where we have to make a decision on these channels. The fact is that these channels have been shown in the country for many, many years.
Since cable starts?
Since cable started. And through the efforts of many people, including the authority and the cable TV channels themselves and others, we've been trying to get the rights. And the rights are just not available. We've understood that, and we've made a decision that time has come and we have to take these channels off the air.
Okay, so these rights have never been available?
Not in Trinidad.
So how come we've been able to air them? I mean, cable TV come out since I was a little boy. I remember the difference it made when people had the box on top of the TV with the little thing you could go and pull. So since then, we've had access to ABC, Fox, all these channels, right?
That's right.
So we've been doing that illegally for
well,
the greater part of 30 years.
For the longest time, and I remember those days too, Transcable and Rainbow Cable.
Rainbow Cable and all them things.
And what has happened is that those channels in those days came off a satellite.
Ah, okay.
And the satellite footprint for many of satellites covers this region as well, which is the Caribbean region.
Okay.
And what would have happened is that in so broadcasting or retransmitting the stations, they would have retransmitted those cable stations as well.
From the satellite.
From the satellite.
Right.
So there's an overflow. So like I said, the footprint covers the region, and therefore those channels would have been part of the package. So you'd have gotten HBO, let's just say, maybe Showtime and whatever else.
Plenty. We had plenty channels.
Plus those free-to-air stations.
Okay.
Now, they're free-to-air because they're free-to-air in the US. In other words, you could have an antenna, and you could pick up ABC, CBS, NBC, and of course, they're rebroadcast in local affiliates. So, like I said, they would have been available in the region just by nature of the fact that they would have been available through the satellite and hence broadcast. Now, to be honest with you, there has been a lot of efforts to get those rights in Trinidad and Tobago. The authority has worked really hard to get those rights. We've spoken to the embassy, the very same stations, NBC, CBS, and Fox.
Yeah.
And a lot of conversations, but like I said, the time has come where we just don't have the rights available.
But what is the challenge with getting the rights?
Well, a couple challenges. The main one being that the stations also have third-party rights involved. So CBS, for example, may have a lot of Good Morning America, their own station, their own programming. So Good Morning America and whatever, and others have The Voice. And those are the programs that they produce.
Right.
So some of those programs, they will actually tell you, yes, you could get those those programs.
Right.
However, there's third-party programs that they purchase for rebroadcast. And I'm thinking of a movie, or it could be, I don't know, AGT.
Or a TV show or anything like that.
Show. And those programs are not available outside of the US. So they can't then resell those programs because they bought it only for transmission in the States.
Okay.
So that's the problem. So what has happened, and there's a possibility that maybe if you talk to CBS or NBC and ABC, you could actually buy their programs. And the cable TV operators could broadcast those shows.
But only those shows.
And only those shows. However, they can also speak to the program producers of the different individual programs, and show those programs if they get the rights.
Okay.
And as you were saying, TTT is a perfect example. There's an opportunity, I'm thinking, for TTT to purchase some of those programs that...
Why? We just live for local. We don't want to purchase none of them foreign programs. We want to watch we want to showcase ourselves. But tell me why securing the intellectual property rights is so important. And what does it mean for our compliance when it comes to international standards?
Right, and that's a huge issue as well, because Trinidad and Tobago is a signatory to a variety of treaties that we have to comply with. Intellectual property rights are very important. As you know, as a country, we have a lot of arts and culture and artists and who make a lot of content. And therefore, as a country, we have to respect rights, those intellectual property rights. And therefore, as a country, we have to maintain our standard when it comes to intellectual property rights, ensure that we are not allowing people to broadcast rights or programs or content that they don't have the rights for. And equally important, as you know, we have trade relations with the United States and other countries. And those, let's say, infringements could actually affect those rights, those relations.
Okay.
So we want to make sure that we are doing the right thing. We are, as I say, coming to the table with clean hands. And this is why we are doing this action now.
I mean, you mentioned a couple of things there that triggered quite a few thoughts in my head, right? One of which is, do we protect our own intellectual property?
Yeah. I think to a large extent we do, at least from the broadcasting side of it, we do. But there's a huge issue now. You know, somebody was saying to me recently that this country in particular has so much intellectual property rights, just because of the nature of Trinidad and Tobago.
We are creative people.
Highly creative people. And I was told that if we invest into the creative arts, there is a greater investment and a greater return than oil and gas. That's to tell you the enormous wealth we have.
I mean, I've been saying that for 5 years now, here.
You know, and it's a funny thing you say that, because I'm just thinking there's so many producers who've gone. I mean, there's Daniel Diffenthal who made Westwood Park. And why not? Why not? I mean, TTT was the only station.
We were showing it,
You know, Calabash Alley.
We're still showing that.
Right. and there's so many producers, so many production houses. So why not have TTT, for example, be the main showcase where these shows can be shown? So I'm thinking yes. So there's a huge opportunity for us to, maybe those channels are going, but others can come. Not channels, but other programs and local programs. And why not now?
The question is if people willing to invest in it, because that's oftentimes the challenge, right? Is that people willing to pay money to get the rights to broadcast the foreign stuff, but are they willing to pay the same money, let's say the same money, to get local quality, local content of that quality? Was it timeline for the removal of the channels? Because I know he had a list of them. It was ABC, NBC, CBX, and Fox. Yeah?
Right. So the timeline is Fox would be the end of December, the 30th of December.
Okay.
Now, mind you, if they get the rights, so if the cable operator is able to secure the rights, then he's entitled to show it.
Okay.
Of course, he will tell us, and then he's entitled to show it. So that's on the December the 30th.
Right.
The next one is NBC, which is the 30th of April, 2026. And then ABC on the 31st of August, 2026, and CBS the 30th of December, 2020. So you have a whole year, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
But who decided on those timelines? Is that what we agreed to with the international partners?
Right. So that was something that the authority, together with the stakeholders, decided.
Okay.
Now, and ideally, you know, we want people to have an opportunity to see whether they could get the rights still. So that's one thing. This is why we allow this time. And also allows persons to, let's just say, find replacement programming and also wean people off the current programming. So you have a combination of things happening here. So it's not all at one. So you don't have just on the 30th of December
everything done.
You know what I'm saying? And that by itself would have been another issue.
An interesting situation to be in. In terms of repercussions for those cable companies that may still attempt to provide those channels after the cutoff dates, what are the repercussions that can put in place?
Right, and this is a very serious issue for us. As you know, if you don't have the rights, you have to take it off. And as a result of that, if you're not showing it, you're fine, but if you are showing it, then we have to take necessary action, and that could include court actions. You go to court or recommendations to the minister to have your concession terminated or suspended. So we don't want that. We want you to be compliant. We want you to get the rights if you can get the rights. And if you can't get the rights, then take it off or replace it with other programming.
Yeah, and we've seen this happen before, not so?
Yeah, we did. As a matter of fact, stars and other stations were removed.
Yeah.
And in many cases, they were replaced.
Right.
So, for consumers who feel that they may be losing, they may be gaining other programs, they may be seeing other channels. So let's see what happens.
What does it mean for people who may be the customers who are accustomed seeing particular channels, they want to see their channels?
Yeah.
Is there another route that they can take, or do they just have to say, well,
like I said, I think that there's an opportunity for TTT, maybe TV6 and others, to purchase some of these programs because they are available. Some are available
for purchase?
So it's not to say that it's all gone. There is an opportunity for, like I said, local to purchase. And of course, as you rightly said, there's an opportunity for local to be local. Why not Westwood Park? I love Young and Restless as well, but I don't. But I understand.
You just compare Westwood Park to Young and Restless.
No, I take that back. But there's an opportunity. Let's put it like that. There's an opportunity.
I hear you.
And there's young producers who could actually do some fantastic work. I know AI is a new thing. Technology has come down. The price of production has come down. So there's an opportunity. And I'm thinking, why not now?
I have plenty of questions about that because, I don't know if I agree with the use of AI 100%, but I understand that it definitely can make the job easier. I have to ask her, how do you feel about having local quotas? Because it's a topic that comes up every so often.
It's so,
and TAT is one of the bodies that would have to enforce it, right?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about it at TAT?
Me personally, I think...
Okay, let's go with you personally first.
we certainly should have local quotas. And it protects the culture. So in other words, instead of having 24/7 of foreign programming, at least if you had 30% or 20%, and the station could get some tax write-off or some benefit, it will support a lot of the local producers. And the first thing you said there was AI and how you feel about it, but I know TTT just showed Timothy Timal's. Timothy Timal.
And I still don't know how I feel about it, even though we should. We can show it, but I still have mixed feelings.
You have mixed feelings.
As a creator, as somebody who's in the creative field, I have mixed feelings.
There's a lot of creators, Bruce Paddington, Christopher Laird, Timothy Mora, and so forth and so forth, Anthony Maraj. There's so many people who could produce content, but they're not making it because obviously, as you rightly said, there's a cash issue. And that's why I'm saying one of the things that has happened over the past few years, and I would say last few years, first year, last year, is AI, which has come about. And you're now seeing that people are making productions, movies, short documentaries, short movies, and so forth, with the use of AI.
Of course.
So just to answer your question as to local production, definitely now is the time. And I would say yes, why not?
But does this affect what we're able to view on the internet as well? In terms of if I were to go to log on to ABC, NBC, CBS, or Fox websites and be able to access their content there, does that affect us at all?
No. So you could actually still continue to watch ABC, CBS, Fox on YouTube, on the other stations, and that's fine. But what we're looking at is copyright infringing sites. For example, you see where you could get free movies and free programming. That is a serious issue, and that's another issue of piracy that we have to address. And that is something that the authority is looking at, because we don't want you to go on to, an illegal streaming site to get your movies and...
Bro, I don't know how to tell you this, but our ship done out the harbor and down in the ocean already. But I do wish you all the best in it, because I definitely think it's something we do need to focus on in terms of intellectual property. I don't think people understand the value of it and how it can actually sustain creatives in terms of generating income and being able to do more work when they have the proper intellectual property rights back in them. So thank you for the work that you're doing. Please keep it up, and we look forward to seeing the positive changes that it brings.
Thank you, Rockus.
No problem at all, and thank you for joining us this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Carell Douglas, the Executive Officer of Legal Enforcement at Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, TAT, sharing with us what's happening coming up as we get ready to, take off some stations off the air, off your cable TV if they don't get the proper intellectual property rights. We take a quick break and we come back with more on in our morning show. Stick around.
Time to stand up for your rights, right? Everybody know your rights, right? You got to stand up for your rights, know your rights. Everybody know your rights.
Count first, 1 to 10 for audio check.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sit here, watch your step.
Hey, nice to meet you, man.
Thanks.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Good, can't complain.
Good to see you.
Nice.